I've been fly fishing in Alaska for most of my life. Out here, the rivers run cold and fast, the spruce trees stretch forever, and the silence makes you feel like you've stepped back in time. It's the kind of place you can get lost in literally and figuratively. But what happened to me one September evening reminded me that sometimes it's not just the wilderness you need to fear. That year, I drove out to the Kenai Peninsula. It was late in the season, salmon still running, but the air was already sharp with the bite of winter coming. I parked at a lonely dirt pull-off, grabbed my gear, and hiked a couple of miles to a bend in the river where I'd had good luck before. It was one of those evenings where the light fades fast, painting everything in shades of orange and gray. The water looked perfect. I slid into my waders, stepped out midstream, and let the world fall away with each cast. The only sounds were the rush of water and the occasional snap of a branch somewhere deeper in the woods. At first, I barely noticed the silence that crept in, the kind that isn't just peaceful, but absolute. No birds, no squirrels, not even the distant crash of a moose moving through the brush. Just me, the river, and something else. It started small, a shadow shifting across the bank, a faint smell, musky, sour, like wet dog and rotting leaves mixed together. Then came the weight of it, that prickling on the back of your neck when you just know you're being watched. I glanced up and froze. At first, I thought I was looking at a burned-out stump, broad, dark, and hunched low near the tree line. But then it moved, slowly, deliberately. The stump straightened, and I realized just how wrong I was. What rose from the brush wasn't a bear. It wasn't a moose. It was upright, massive. Its shoulders sloped forward, arms dangling almost to its knees. Hair, thick and matted, covered every inch of it, and the face, God, the face. Not human, not animal, something caught in between. Its eyes locked on me across the river, and even from that distance, I felt my chest tighten. I told myself to move, to back away, but my legs didn't want to listen. The water rushed cold around me as I stood rooted in place, clutching my fly rod like it would do me any good. Then the thing stood taller. 7, 8 feet, maybe more. My stomach dropped. The creature shifted a step closer to the river. I stumbled backward, splashing toward shore. That's when I realized something terrifying. It was keeping pace. Each time I moved downstream, it mirrored me from the opposite bank, never breaking eye contact. I scrambled out of the water, boots sinking in the mud, and yanked my pack onto my shoulders. My heart pounded so loud it drowned out the river. Then the sound came. It let out a cry that tore through the forest. Half scream, half roar, something so deep it rattled my ribs. I'd heard bears, I'd heard wolves, but nothing in my life ever made a sound like that. The cry rolled down the valley and echoed back, like the whole wilderness was joining in. My knees nearly buckled. I ran. Branches whipped at my face, my gear banged against my back, but I didn't stop. Behind me, I heard movement. Heavy, deliberate, keeping pace. Not crashing through the woods like a charging bear, but following fast enough that I never gained comfort. The smell grew stronger the deeper I ran, sour and rank, filling my lungs. At one point, I stumbled into a patch of moss and lost my bearings. My head spun, unsure of where the trail was. That's when I heard it again. 3 sharp cracks. Wood striking wood. Tree knocks. I'd heard about them in stories, but never believed them until then. Panic surged, and I bolted in what I prayed was the right direction. The forest seemed endless, every tree identical, every shadow hiding something massive. My legs screamed for me to stop, but I kept going. Every few seconds, I'd glance over my shoulder, and there it was, always there. A dark figure gliding between the trees, just far enough to stay hidden, but close enough that I never felt alone. At one point, I swear it threw something, a branch, or maybe a rock, crashed into the brush, just yards to my right. The sound jolted me so hard I nearly fell. It wasn't trying to catch me. It was toying with me, hurting me. When the trees finally thinned and I caught a glimpse of the sky, I nearly sobbed. The trailhead, my truck, was close. My boots pounded the dirt, lungs burning, legs on fire. I tore out of the tree line into the clearing and spotted my truck sitting alone in the fading light. But I wasn't safe yet. Something cracked behind me, heavy footsteps closing fast. I fumbled my keys, nearly dropping them, and wrenched the door open. I dove inside, slammed it shut, and hit the lock. My chest heaved as I looked back through the windshield, and there it was, standing at the edge of the clearing, half shrouded in shadow. Its chest rose and fell like it hadn't even been running. Its eyes glowed faintly, never leaving mine. Slowly, almost calmly, it turned and melted back into the trees, silent as smoke. I sat in that truck for nearly an hour, too scared to start the engine, watching the tree line like it might come back at any moment. Eventually, I drove away, hands trembling on the wheel, eyes darting to the mirror the whole way down the dirt road. That was 3 years ago. I've been fishing since then, but never alone, and never in the deep wilds of Alaska. The memory still clings to me. The silence, the smell, the way it followed me without ever rushing. Out there, in the last true wilderness, there are things we don't understand. Things that watch, things that don't want us there. And I'll tell you this, it wasn't a bear.